Welcome to the Winchester Life Podcast. Through insider access to industry pioneers, firsthand looks at cutting-edge tech advancements, and the stories behind the scenes that have shaped the world of shooting sports and hunting as we know it, we'll dive into the sacred places like deer camps and duck blinds, talk about innovation and shooting tips with the world's best, while revisiting age-old traditions of hunting and shooting still alive in our country. I'm your host, Jason Brown, and welcome to the show. The Winchester Life Podcast is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, Winchester Repeating Arms, Winchester Safes, White Flyer Targets, Folds of Honor, Birchwood Casey, Walkers, Winchester Pet, and Winchester Optics. All right, in the hot seat, Matt Stewart, NWTF editor. What's shaking this week? You busy?
Yeah, a little bit. I had to put that editor thing aside for a week. Well, not really, for the last month or two. It's I run the calling contest, the Grand Nationals upstairs. So we've gotten kick started yesterday with a few contests and running wide open right now. So
what's it like? The prep I'm sure is crazy, but for the calling competition in general, I'm going to dive into that a little bit. So when somebody, how do they get to this point? Right. How do they get to the big stage? What's the process?
There's a qualifier, and you got to qualify. It for almost everything. There's a team air and friction that's pretty open. You can register and call in that without qualifying, and owl and gobbling.
So those three, you can show up here.
Anybody can show up.
And there's prelims and stuff, but to get to the big stage,
right,
you got to make it through.
Yeah. But the two big ones, the friction division and the senior open, are the two big ones, and you've got to qualify the local contest by winning, or either finish right behind a previous qualifier. We just keep track of it's about 50 contests throughout the country a year, and we had 46 friction callers. Yesterday, cut it to 13. The 13 made the cut. Yeah. And then right now, senior open prelims are going on 46 again. So we'll cut it to 13. It's a 4-hour deal.
It's crazy. I mean, just the level of competition in the there's always been it's been legendary.
Right.
I talked with Rob Keck earlier. Right. Ricky Joe Bishop, Rob, Mark Drury. Walter Parrott, Chris Parrish, all these legendary names that were there when I first started getting into turkey hunting. You look at the list, 85, 86, 87, it goes up as legend.
Yeah.
Matt Van Cise, right? He's crushing. It lasts, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, 4 in a row. He's won 9 senior open.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Unprecedented,
right? He's going for 10 this year.
Which is
crazy.
He
doesn't have enough fingers almost, but maybe he can get him on his thumb. I owe him a ring right now. I need to get him his ring from last year, but he's going for that 10th this year.
Yeah.
The guy's unreal. I just saw him run in prelims. He's already qualified. He doesn't need to even call in prelims because he's reigning champ. He comes back and he's already in the finals, but the guy's just he's growing feathers.
What is it that separates the greats?
Yeah.
What is it, man?
That's a great question. They just live it.
Yeah.
They're always around turkeys, listening to turkeys.
Yeah.
And they're running calls, but they live and breathe it, and they're just if you want to get to that level, that's the only way to get there. There's a lot of good callers, but they just don't, they don't put in the time that some of these other folks have.
Yeah, and I think, what's amazing is the experience you get. So when you guys put this show on, to me, it's amazing. You sit down in the crowd, and the stage is set up. The lights are there. It's a big stage, and I can feel my heart races. I've never entered a calling competition.
Right.
One of my best friends was always in the Michigan Calling Championship, and he gets so nervous.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine one little slip up on that stage can cost you. Usually will cost you.
Yes, exactly. Those judges, they've been doing it for decades.
Yeah.
So they know what it sounds like, and if they hear it, that's -1.
-1. So how do you get the judges? Who are they?
Yeah, they're former champions. A lot of them are former champions, former callers. They've just been doing it for a long time, and the guys that listen to turkey and know what a turkey sounds like and can judge and hear the different rhythms and the tone and the slip-ups, they can catch that stuff. And it's hard to find guys that can really do it well. Yeah. We try to. We got 50 of them this week, but they are the best in the world, I think.
Yeah. So what's it take to put on the calling competition? From how many people, volunteers? Talk through that.
Yeah, it's a process. It starts with the qualifying. You got to keep track of who wins every contest. Yeah. Who finishes second and third if there's a qualifier in front of them, and just make sure you got all the qualifiers who are eligible to participate. It starts there, and then the registration process starts in November usually. And the guys get registered. We had 262 callers register for 10 different divisions, basically. We had 8. But anyway, not to get it too deep in the weeds there, but it starts there, and then you've just got a lot of prep work as far as the video boards and making sure everybody's name and sponsors are right, and the volunteers.
The little things, man. Yeah.
All
the details.
Right. That's where you can mess up in a hurry.
So how many people on the NWTF side and volunteers does it take to run it properly?
That's a great question.
Your guess, just as a guess.
I counted 10 earlier. We're back there running scores, calculating scores, putting in the scores, keeping everything in order, wrangling callers backstage to make sure they get, when their number's called, they go up on the ramp. You got an MC for every contest. It's usually about 10 to 15. Yeah. And we've had a lot of volunteers help, and they're huge help.
And you said 50 judges?
Yeah, 50 total judges for across the board. Some overlap, but.
So how do you get them in? I mean, every year they're just kind of they come back year after year.
Yeah, a lot of them come back, right. There's some new ones, new faces every few years. Yeah. And we try to get some new blood because everybody's turkey sounds different. Right. Everybody's got a different idea, so it is subjective. Yeah. But that they've listened to it for so long, they know what it should sound like.
Yeah. So speaking of the youth, there's a youth movement in this industry. It's pretty insane. Yeah. I think in the last 5-6 years, and I think a lot of that's the YouTube growth, and you're able to connect, I think, to the younger audience a little better. Right. Have you seen that same thing in calling? Is there a youth movement there?
Yeah, there's some great callers out there. Like you said, a lot of them can get online and listen to it. It used to be you had to go to a contest.
Or buy a tape. I remember I bought tapes.
Yes, right. Yeah. Denny Golvis for the longest has recorded wild turkeys and others. But, the kids are getting into it. There's so many good callers. We've got some growth this year. Our junior division's got 17 callers, and usually it's been around 12 or 13. But there's 13, 14 in the Polts. Yeah. There's 8 or 9 in the intermediate, so almost 40. We need to get it up, but it's increased this year. So and there's so many good callers, and those kids. Hudson McGarity, a kid today, competed against the adults in the gobbling division. Yep. And won 3rd place. He's a 14-year-old kid. Yeah. Just so talented. It's incredible to see him.
Yeah, it's just like this show. There's so many kids walking around on calls, and this is not a place to be shy. When you like to call, you just let her rip. Yeah, and you can hear it. We got live music going on over here. You got waterfowl calling. You got turkey calls. Last thing I want to talk to you about is Mark Drury is going in this year, Hall of Fame. What is it exactly he's going in for?
Yeah, so he's going to be inducted into the Grand National Calling Championships Hall of Fame. This is I believe it's the 6th year of induction, so it'll be Mark and Jim Pollard and Ernie Calandrelli. Yeah. They'll be number 26, 27, and 28 inductees into the Hall of Fame. We got a meet and greet here at 4 p.m. today at the entrance to the sports show floor. But Mark, just legendary. He called. He's a great caller. He's not really known for that. Right. But you look at his resume, he won a lot of contests. Yeah. World.
That's how he got us. I talked to him. I mean, I know Mark real well, but I had him on the show a couple weeks ago, about a month ago now, and we talked about that. And really, his introduction to this space, I knew him as a turkey caller to start.
Right.
And then he became, Mr. Big Giant Buck Killer.
Yes, sir.
Which he's really known for in today's space. But what people don't realize is the legend that he created early on as a young college student, grew into a national calling champion, and that's really what connected him to Mossy Oak, and that's what that's how he got in.
It's kind of like Waddell. Waddell got his start there, and that's what the calling contest has birthed a lot of careers. A lot of guys got their start at the calling contest. That's why we love it. Nobody really knows a lot of these guys when they come on stage, but you win one, a lot of people know you.
They know you then. Well, man, thanks for stopping by. Good luck. Is Saturday usually the seniors?
Yeah,
is that when they call?
Right, that's the finals.
It's finals.
For Friction at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And then the senior finals is at noon.
All right. So at noon, Matt Van Sice going for number 10.
Yep.
Legend.
We'll see what he can do.
See what he can do.
He's got a good shot.
Right on, man. Thanks for stopping.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast has been brought to you by Winchester Safes. Built with reliability and dependability, Winchester Safes offers proven security for your memories, possessions, and most importantly, your peace of mind. Visit winchestersafes.com to learn more. White Flyer Targets. For more than 130 years, White Flyer has provided the highest quality clay target for trap, skeet, and sporting clays. White Flyer, America's best. Birchwood Casey. Since 1948, serious shooters, avid collectors, and professional gunsmiths have relied on Birchwood Casey for shooting and gun care products that have stood the test of time. To learn more, visit birchwoodcasey.com.
Mark Drury.
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by the old podcast here real quick.
Thank you.
Yeah, so around us, it's crazy. I mean, the amount of people at this show. Energy, man. You can feel, we got music in the background. We got people with cameras all around us. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of people through these doors.
They're antsy because they know it's around the corner.
It is.
The gobble is starting. I've already talked to guys that heard turkeys gobbling this morning, And the energy is palpable.
It is. So this is a big weekend for you.
It is.
What you're going in the Hall of Fame?
That's what they tell me tomorrow. So honored and humbled to do so and go up there with Ernie Calandrelli and Jim Pollard and join some of my heroes in that. It's a dream come true.
So what is it you're going in for?
Well, it's called the Grand National Turkey Callers Hall of Fame. So back in the day, I called a good bit. I called from 84 through 96. So I had about 12 years there. And, of course, through that spawned Drury Outdoors and spawned Mad Calls. So was lucky enough to have some success on the calling trail and then even more success with the businesses. So, feels good to be honored for that and feel undeserving, always feel a little bare without Terry going in. And he called to congratulate me, and I said, well, you should have practiced a little more. Joking, but we had a good laugh over that. But he's as deserving as I am because he's been there for me the whole time, as have Taylor and Matt. So I'll accept it on their behalf and everyone else's behalf that's ever watched a Drury video or bought a Mad Call.
And it's a lot. It's a lot. And it's always been a team effort with you, which I always love. You guys put each other in front of each other, and it's a group thing always. And that's what I appreciate about you guys and your brand and everything you've always done. You've played the long game. It's never been short-term gains. It's always been foresight into the future.
Slow and steady, that ground game, just run the football.
Yeah.
And we just kind of stay the course. And, our motto is keep it about them and not us.
Yeah.
It's about the game or about the viewer, and that has served us well and aged well. Try to wrap compelling storytelling around that, and it seems to do well. We try to be educational.
Yeah. So there's some guys, Matt Van Sice is on an incredible heater right now, going for number 10. But when you're waiting to step onto that stage at the National Turkey Calling Competition, the senior level, what's that like, man?
Man, it's for me, because I'm a nervous guy anyway. I'm nervous when a deer's coming in. I'm nervous when a turkey's coming in. I don't sleep well. I mean, I'm just nervous. For me, I had a lot of trouble with those nerves. Like, I had trouble controlling it. And I wish I could have taken something to control those nerves. There were times where I'd drink a beer or two before going on stage just to calm myself a little bit. Dinker Whiffler used to drink a 6-pack before he'd go up.
Like a rock star.
It's unnerving because everything's quiet, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no crowd. You don't hear anything. All you hear is the other guys calling, and you're just anticipating getting up there. And it's a long process getting there because each caller takes, 15 minutes or whatever it is. So it's very unnerving. Yeah,
and if you've ever been the audience, if they've ever been to a competition like this on this level, the stage is elevated. There's an environment, there's turkeys, there's trees, it's dark, the spotlights are on you, and you hear this voice from the Wizard of Oz that says, Kiki, run.
Yes. And then the nerves come from, if I make a mistake, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
I traveled however far, spent however much, all these hours. If I make one mistake, you're done, because the competition at this level, you only get eliminated through your mistakes.
Yeah. So when you were calling, who were the guys?
Butsky, Walter Parrott, Chris Parrish, Steve Stoltz, Skeet Thomas, Joe Drake, Dempsey White,
legends,
Keith Wallach, all Eddie Salter, Preston Pittman,
the guys,
Ray I, the OGs.
That's who I grew up listening to. Those guys,
the OGs of the modern day turkey experience. Prior to them, preceded would have been Gulbis and Ray I, Rob Keck, Lewis Stowe, some of the ones prior to them, but. In that era that I grew up in, that was the start and maybe perhaps the peak of turkey calling contests. Like, I'd go to a contest, there'd be 60, 70 entries. Now anymore, it's so good, you don't see nearly as many people enter. I think there's 44 in the prelims here this weekend. And there's some good callers these days. Goodness gracious. If anybody hasn't tuned into it, go to the Turkey Federation page, check out the contest, the live. Just watch it. Even if it's past, watch it, because you can learn, the sounds that they make and the rhythms that they do and the little things they throw in there to become the most realistic caller out there.
I was just talking to Matt Stewart. He's running the contest this week for them, and they have 50 different judges. A lot of them are past champions. 50 judges. So what's it take, though, to be a competitive caller? How much did you practice?
Nonstop.
Yeah.
You don't ever stop. Van Cise, who's the best to ever do it, he practices year round, and he's so good. Yeah. And you see it because it's muscle memory for your tongue. So with golfers, right, driving range, dragging range, baseball players, batting practice, turkey callers, it's just running through those calls, running through those scenarios, making sure that when you go on stage, it's always delivered exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it can't be robotic, it's got to be turkey-like, and that's the beauty and the art of it.
It is, and I think there is an art to the delivery. I think if you see any of these live, they become turkeys. The best guys,
they do
walk around the stage. They strut like turkeys. They have the mouth. They have the ear. They're moving their hands.
They'll have their hands. Yep.
They're into it. Their eyes are closed, and they're putting themselves. Is that what you did?
Absolutely. I always envisioned a hen in my head. Yeah. I could see her mouth yelping or cutting or whatever it was. I always had her in my head, and it blocked everything else out. I just wanted to sound like her.
Yeah. So this spring, what do you have coming up turkey-wise? Just making the normal run? You doing anything specific?
I have a pretty set run. I'm going to do Texas in late March, early April. Then once the youth seasons and then the seasons start to open in Missouri and Iowa, of course I bounce back and forth almost daily between one state to the other, or hunt one state for a week and then back to the other one. That takes me into mid-May, so mid-April to mid-May, and then I'll head out west for a run out there, which is my favorite.
Do you have Longbeard TSS in the bag this year?
I had it in the bag last year.
I know.
I was lucky enough to have some 20 gauge, and oh my goodness, did we hammer them?
Yeah, we just looked at some footage not too long ago of you guys hammering them. So yeah, I mean, I think obviously the goal is to bring them in close, but if they don't,
Yeah, certainly, and even close, you can get a weird pattern or something. Not with TSS, man. It just, you kind of make fun of it or joke about it. Kill them more dead. Well, sometimes you need to kill them more dead, because turkeys, it takes a shot to the vertebrae to put them down. So why not put more shot in the air that'll do that? So it just increases your odds dramatically.
Yeah. Well, good luck this spring. I know it'll be a good one again, and congratulations on Hall of Fame. Well deserving.
I appreciate you, Jason. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it. I'm going to go hug your wife.
Go for it.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast has been brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, a world leader in delivering innovative products. Winchester is the American legend, a brand built on integrity, hard work, and a deep focus on its loyal customers. Considered one of the world's leading ammunition manufacturers, Winchester has built its reputation on delivering innovative ammunition products, providing top-shelf customer service, and demonstrating industry leadership. To learn more, visit winchester.com. Winchester Optics. The Winchester Supreme line of optics offers rifle scopes, binoculars, spotting scopes, and rangefinders for all of your shooting and hunting needs. To learn more, visit worldofwinchester.com. Winchester Repeating Arms. The guns that work with a reputation built on reliability. Winchester rifles and shotguns are built tough, with superior fit and finish. Winchester firearms are built to exceed expectations. To learn more, visit winchesterrepeatingarms.com.
Shawn Stahl sitting next to me.
What's happening?
The Waterfowl maniac.
Yep.
Where were you this year?
Everywhere. Here, there, everywhere. Gone. Stayed a lot north.
Yeah.
It was one of them years, man, we didn't stack up any cold fronts early. Birds kind of stalled out, if you want to call it that. Stayed out. A lot of my hunting was north of I-80.
Yeah.
Kind of running the I-80 corridor. And all the way across.
That's nice, though,
north
to
of that.
stay up there.
Yeah.
Fellow Michigander, it doesn't hurt to stay up north.
No. Yeah, stay close to home. Everybody sounds a little, sounds a little bit better. But western Nebraska, all the way across, Manitoba, Ontario, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, New York, along the river there, Ohio, east side of Michigan, hunting divers and stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
People say, hey, how was your season?
It's so long. It's like 7 months long now.
Well, yeah. People, if you want an opportunity to hunt, you've got an opportunity to hunt, especially in the state of Michigan. I'll just throw that out.
Yeah.
From September 1st to February 10th, outside of a couple of days here and there, you've got an opportunity to go hunt waterfowl.
It's almost half of the year.
And it could be anything from divers and sea ducks on the Great Lakes, so people don't think, sea ducks being inland like that. Divers to puddle ducks, wood ducks, Canada geese, you name it. The opportunity's there, and really the golden days are here.
Yeah.
For opportunity, at least.
I agree. We're about the same age. We grew up hunting the same migrations, and it's gotten better and better.
Oh.
I think the Canada goose hunting, at least in Michigan and the Great Lakes, is insane.
It's changed in my lifetime. When I first was a kid and got introduced to waterfowl hunting, there's only a couple places you could go to actually shoot Canada geese because they were all migrants. We didn't have the resident population. That kind of exploded as I, got into college, and that's when that started to explode.
Yeah.
And having the opportunities to just go knock on doors and freelance around and not go to the, there are a couple little areas like by me. There's the Todd Farm there where you can go.
Yeah.
It's a public area, and you could go put in for the draw and hunt. But that's how when I first started hunting, that was the only Canada goose hunting that was around. But opportunity, man, is good. And people, you're here at this show, and people are saying, "How was your season?" Well, it's kind of a double-edged. Most people want to know how many did you shoot.
Yeah, right.
But I started out with, I had fun. That was a great season, awesome season. I had so much fun. Met a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
Went to some new places. PEI was the first time, knocked that off my bucket list.
Yep.
Went back to a few places, met some old friends, did some stuff, and we shot quite a few birds along the way. But that.
We're getting older, dude. That's how we look at hunting.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
I look at social media and stuff, and
Yeah.
they plaster all the
Piles.
pile pictures.
Right. I know.
I try not. I'll post some of that stuff, but
Yeah.
I really try not to because that's not the biggest.
That's not why.
The
Right.
last hunt of the year we went on, we took a little girl
Yeah.
with her dad, 7 years old. She's out there. It's cold. We got a little heater for her stuff. She's cold. Birds didn't fly right away. It trickled out. It took about 6 hours. We shot a limit, but she's out there the whole time. And, they're all like, well, I'm sorry, it took so long. I'm like, sorry it took so long, man.
Yeah.
I like to hunt. I like to sit in the blind and hunt. But the coolest thing was just to see the smile on her face when she goes out and gets these birds. And we shot one band on that hunt.
Yeah.
We did a little draw for it, at the end, and kind of set it up. I made sure she won that band.
Yes.
And I sent her some a duck call and a goose call.
Oh,
in the
that's
mail.
awesome, man.
And I think that's important that we get these. Our hunter recruitment nationwide is horrible, right?
I know.
And as much as we can get those people into this stuff and foster that development in the outdoors,
you're right on.
We got to do it.
We do. So this year, in your bag, last call. Well, you have bismuth, last call.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different. But the introduction of last call this year, and we were talking a little bit about this. It's incredible. It's a game changer. There's no question.
The term game changer, I get so often overused, but really it is.
Yeah.
When you look at the opportunities for waterfowlers and the non-toxic loads now, it was lead when I first started out, and then introduced steel, and it was always a big pain, because it's so much lighter,
less
and
dense,
the ballistic characteristics are different, and then all of a sudden, now next comes out bismuth, and then now you got something that's a little more comparable in weight, just a couple grams difference in weight per cubic centimeter, and then now in the last year or so, the
double it up. You double it up. You double it up.
I mean, it's 18 grams to 11.
Yeah.
And it's just the lethality of it and how effective it is. It costs a lot more.
Yeah.
There's a price you pay for that, but like we talked earlier, if you're going on a hunt of a lifetime, if you're diver hunting, shooting cripples, dispatching them, this stuff is unreal.
Unreal.
And you're shooting shot sizes like 7s and 9s.
Yeah.
It's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like most of the time at geese, you're shooting BBs and ducks, 2s and 4s, and steel shot. Now you're going up and shooting 7 and 9s in the pellet count. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the turkey load, the patterns there, but it's comparable with the waterfowl stuff. And
it is.
It's just crazy how much pellet density you're putting out there with the power, the energy on target at the distances that you're out there. And it just, ultimately we want quick, clean kills.
Let's
just, we don't want an animal to suffer. And this stuff is incredible.
It is. And we were talking too, there's a spot that I hunt, and I've told this story before, but it's on a river, the far bank of the river, the high banks, like 55, 60 yard mark. We just don't shoot at them. I mean, they're out. They go on the backside of the deeks, and they kind of take the land over. But you know what? I had last call in. This was late season, and I threw it in there. I'm like, I'm going to let her rip, man, because I patterned it. I know what it can do. 2 for 2, 2 Drake mallards, hit the ground, and dead. Did not move. And that's the biggest thing on the river too. Like, they dive, they go under, deadfalls and root systems, and they're gone if they have anything left.
That pellet energy on target. That's one thing, like with steel shot, and you start pushing the ranges, you can hear the pellets hit them, you can hear it bouncing off them. But this stuff, if it hits them, and with the pellet, the pattern density that you have, it's
and if you're a guy that maybe you hunt 3 times a year, why not?
Why not?
4 times a year, why not? Put it in your bag, shoot it. You won't regret it.
And in this in the outdoor industry, you see a lot of products come along, and you're like, some of that's made to just sell people, or it's kind of a recycled something of old that they put a new spin on or whatnot. There isn't a lot of just innovative, new, just great stuff. This stuff, the last call is
it's insane.
It's insane. It's definitely, and I'm using that term again, a game changer.
It's a game changer.
Game changer in the waterfowl industry.
And I love this show, one, because I hear as many waterfowl duck and goose calls as I do turkey calls, almost.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of waterfowl representatives here, and I think the turkey guy, a lot of times the waterfowl guy. It's that same type of guy.
I'm a firm believer that a hunter is a hunter.
Yeah.
And they like the game. They like to get outside. They like to see the sunrise.
Yeah.
And I throw fishing into this too, because fishing to me is hunting.
Yeah.
You're out there trying to lure them in, fool them, that kind of thing. And I think a good hunter is a good a good hunter, a good deer hunter can be a good waterfowl hunter.
Yeah.
A good waterfowl hunter can be a good turkey hunter because they understand animals, how they act, how they react, how different weather conditions, how different things factor them in what they're doing and chase them.
So I know we chat quite often. We text each other during the seasons anyway. Now, turkey season last year, you go up to Canada.
Yeah.
I was talking with Rob Keck earlier. He's going for his provincial slam. He's gotten a gobbler in every province except for Alberta,
That's
which
the
he
hardest
drew,
one.
which he just drew. And I know you meander over the line every once in a while.
Oh, I go over the last week of the season every year.
Yeah.
I do that, like turkey hunting a lot of times when it's good in one place, the conditions, the weather, the timing of where they are and the breeding, it's good everywhere. So it's kind of hard to get every place. Michigan, we're allowed one bird, but I mean, I'll take little kids out. I'll take old people out. I take anybody I can get to go buy a license. I'll take them out for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I spend about a week. There's 1 or 2, 3 birds in that group that I've been hunting all year that just kind of made me mad, and I kind of focus on it. When I knock one of them out, then I go to Ontario. I got a buddy that's an outfitter over there. We'll go over there. We'll have turkey camp.
Yeah.
I'll bring some bunch of steaks and chicken. And
late May, first week of June, or
no, late May, last week in May. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
I'll run over there and we'll spend a week and we call it turkey camp. It's just a bunch of like-minded people that love to hunt and get out. And
so it's all about
just run around and have fun and do stuff out and enjoy God's creation and get outside.
Well, right on, man. Thank you for being such an ambassador for Winchester. It's been a long run, and on our Winchester Life television series, your footage is on there every year. What you do out there, you bring a lot of people into the world of waterfowl, and that's what it's about. And I can tell, I know you. That's what kind of drives you. So thanks for being an ambassador and for stopping by and chatting.
Yep. Back to the show, huh?
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
All right.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast has been brought to you by Winchester Pet. From the field to the front seat, the trusted name of Winchester has everything you need for the four-legged friend in your life. For all of your pet accessories, visit worldofwinchester.com. Walkers. For all your hearing protection needs, visit walkersgameear.com. The leader in hearing protection. Walkers. Folds of Honor. Providing educational scholarships to the spouses and children of fallen and disabled military service members. Honor their sacrifice, educate their legacy. To learn more, visit foldsofhonor.com.
All right, here we are, and Greg Sugg is next to us, and with Mossy Oak.
Yep.
So it's funny. We're just talking about this. Like, I feel like there's a resurgence of the Mossy Oak brand in the last 3 or 4 years, and I really feel it at this show.
Yeah.
I feel like the footprint of the booth keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I have my own opinion on why that might be, but coming from you, so what do you do with Mossy Oak?
Yeah, so I'm in media relations, so just connecting with people, helping to promote the Mossy Oak message through strategic partnerships, linear, digital, and then also kind of bring in strategic partnerships to a lot of our media properties.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things that we do to kind of help tell the Mossy Oak story and promote information in the right time. So just help bringing in partnerships to that.
So what is your opinion on the latest resurgence?
So first of all, we're just humbled as a brand, and it never ceases to amaze us the amount of love and support people show, and it's incredibly cool. Some people say it's like overnight success, and we joke. We said overnight success that has taken 40 years
since '86.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and it's really a testament to Toxie, the founder of Mossy Oak, and his dedication to the outdoors and being true to himself, and knowing that if you don't help take care of the resource and you don't help promote that information and dedication to organizations like NWTF and many others, then we won't, as outdoors men and women, we won't have anything to pursue. And so That's really it. And I think people, that resonates with people. Yeah. It has for almost 40 years now, and but over the last 3 to 5 years, we've really been able to connect and be able to promote the things that help people live their best life outdoors, and that's what it's really about. Is how can you best spend your time, with the limited time we have on this earth. Is what's the best way lifestyle, and we believe that it's being outside and being in nature and getting your family involved.
Yeah, and you guys have lived that, and I think what I really appreciate about the Mossy Oak brand is the long game. You guys have always played the long game. You haven't reached for short successes and short gains. It's always been true to your values. The long game has now created these short-term gains in the last 3 or 4 years. The companion series that popped out has been massive. Jason Hart, the addition of him infused into the Mossy Oak brand, I think has been a huge success story. Yeah. And he's left great marks everywhere he's been, so it's no surprise. But to me, when I see the way that things are being done, the way it's promoted, the youth movement is incredible in this space. I think turkey hunting and waterfowl alone, but to see the amount of throwback camo patterns that are being worn now, and most of them are Mossy Oak camo patterns. You guys started a revolution, really. So yeah, kudos to you guys. And I think, talking about your collaborations and licensing, the 50th anniversary of the NWTF, there's a box that you guys created with Winchester. Talk about how that partnership came together.
Yeah, so Mossy Oak and Winchester have been tied for several years, 2+ decades now. And so, they have been great partners. They're great stewards of the resource, and they promote everything that we believe in. And so, they worked with NWTF and us and utilized the original pattern, Bottomland, Mossy Oak Bottomland, on a collaborative box to help promote the awareness of NWTF's 50 years being formalized, and help promote the good works that they do. And so we were, more than happy to help kind of to promote that collaboration through our channels, and then obviously leverage the equity of the Bottomland carries with it. So it's a great, that's a great initiative. That was a great initiative, and you still see it today. And then just the heritage of firearms that Winchester has, and the products that we have, that we have our brand, our patterns on, whether that's turkey-oriented firearms, waterfowl, all of that. They're such a storied brand, and with some of their manufacturing, they have a facility in Mississippi, and we're a Mississippi owned and operated.
Oxford,
yep, right outside of Oxford, and so we're a very proud Mississippi-based company. Yeah.
So when a collaboration starts, when you guys get the idea, how's behind the scenes? What happens to say, hey, there's an NWTF 50th, we're Mossy Oak, you're Winchester. How's that all work?
Yeah, so a lot of it goes, it starts with an idea, then a design, and then, once everything is kind of nailed and all of that from a product oriented perspective, then you go into the communication, the marketing, right? The timelines of everything, and all of that, and making sure that it's has the right distribution for the product, and then we want to talk about it through our assets and our channels, and then in conjunction with Winchester and all of that. So it's thinking of good ideas that make sense, and then rolling it out through the right channels and at the right time.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? Anything exciting this year? What's coming up, man?
We're trying to enjoy and trying to enjoy this week, and it's a great. You touched on it. It's a great representation of what the brand, what the Mossy Oak brand is, and the people that it resonates with. And we're again just truly humbled We have launched full foliage, or relaunched full foliage this week, small, and that'll be, that you'll see that coming out through the years, and then so a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, keep doing what you guys are doing, man. I appreciate you stopping by, and always have major reverence for your brand, Mossy Oak brand, and everything you guys do.
Thank you.
From conservation to changing the game in everything that you guys do.
Well, thank you. Well, we would not be here without the great partners like Winchester and many, many, many others. So again, we are so appreciative of partnerships like this, other partnerships that people proudly carry the Mossy Oak brand and patterns, and without our partners and the people that support those brands, we wouldn't be here. So it's very humbling to be here and to see that. So thank you to Winchester, and thank you to all the partners.
Right on. Well, have a great rest of the weekend.
You as well.
Thanks.
Yep.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast is brought to you by the National Wild Turkey Federation. The NWTF is dedicated to the conservation of the wild turkey and the preservation of our hunting heritage. Since its inception in 1973, the NWTF has provided the foundation for wild turkey conservation throughout North America. Conserving the wild turkey and preserving our hunting heritage has always been, and always will be, the backbone of the National Wild Turkey Federation. Visit their website at nwtf.org to join and learn more.
Mr. Gilbertson.
Hello.
Welcome to your booth. It's crazy.
I got here, yeah.
It's crazy.
I had to do a lot of shoving to get here.
Man, you just came in hot off the jet about an hour ago. Booth is jammed.
Yeah,
We've had lots of good interviews today.
Yeah.
Lots of good conversations. This is where it all started for you, NWTF.
Yeah. It's exciting. See a lot of friends and a lot of people from, when I first was there, so it's cool.
And that's the thing about this industry, and especially I think the turkey side alone is there is that you always have that common bond.
Yeah.
And it's different. I always tell people this show is unique. Yeah. It's got energy. It's family oriented. All the things.
Yeah, they've done a tremendous job. They always do every year.
Yeah.
But when I first started there, I would love to tell you it was a lot different. But you just see it grow, and they keep adding more activities. Like there's a lot of youth activities. There's still the
Mandy's talked about all the stuff she's doing.
Between taxidermy and calling competitions, but they figured it out, and having it here in Nashville, it's a great location. So
that was one of Rob. We talked earlier. That was one of his things.
Yeah.
When they made the move, they were like, "You think you'll fill this place up?" He says, across his fingers, he said, I think so." And now, it used to be just this side, and now it's over onto the other side, and it's crazy what it's turned into. But to me, it's turned into the very best show.
It's impressive
that you can come to.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
So you've been here. You've been with Winchester for 19 years now. You've been a part of a lot of the launches for turkey loads.
Yeah. When I first started at Winchester, like one of the first campaigns I worked on was extended range turkey loads. Yeah. And I was thinking about that the other day. Just that was like a tungsten iron type load. And at the time, it was still pretty expensive, but the performance was remarkable.
Yeah.
And, it hung in there for a while. We had it for both waterfowl and turkey, if memory serves me right. And then, it just, like a lot of products, it just kind of takes its course.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of the air, we launched Longbeard XR.
Yep.
And then things really got interesting.
Yeah,
right?
things got crazy. I don't think that technology was really matched until TSS came out to kind of go into those turkey loads, and now we see the NWTF in the middle of the show. There's like NWTF will sell like their clothing and hats, but that's also where the ammunition sales take place.
Yeah.
There is a horde of humans since these doors opened yesterday are hawking the TSS, because it's the first time Longbeard TSS is, one of the first times a lot of these guys have seen it. So talk about that launch.
Well, to your point, we were probably later to the game in TSS, and that's fine. But now that we have 12 20, 28, 410 in TSS, it just gives so many options for turkey hunters. I mean, that game, again, has changed. You know it, I know it. But, when you walk over and you see just the number of people and what they're grabbing and what they're studying, you know they like it, they want it, and they're trying to figure it out. So.
I think the sub-gauge game has really, become huge. And I think pairing that up with the TSS loads, I mean, it makes sense. It's a lot of these youth hunters. You see, it's a youth movement here. They'll probably be running, TSS out of their 410s, and that's why I think you guys take the time to make sure you do it right. You're not just going to launch it with 12. You're going to do the whole line, and I think that's why sometimes things take a little longer, because you think things through.
Yeah, you want availability, of course, but you want to tell a good story and let people get it. But I tell you, I mean, while it is a more expensive load, people will pay for performance when they see how that goes. So that's been kind of interesting too. But, Longbeard XR, it's not going anywhere, so we're going to see that fly off the shelves too, I'm sure.
And
but
it already has.
Yeah, so that's exciting. It's cool. But,
something that's very near and dear to your heart, and I know it's become near and dear to my heart, is the Veterans Breakfast.
Yeah.
It's a super unique and special morning event that's been a staple here at the NWTF show for a long time now. What's that about?
Yeah, so again, I date myself, I go back, but every Saturday morning, the NWTF, they host a breakfast, and it's the Veterans Breakfast. And Winchester, we jumped in on that a long time ago. And really, it's an opportunity to recognize all of the veterans, all the different services, so Army, Marines, Navy, Coast Guard. What am I missing? Air Force, yep. So it's a very, very well done breakfast. They're recognized there. There's a lot, there's speakers. I think we have Colonel Nick Nichols with Folds of Honor. He'll speak tomorrow. So
that's great.
But it's it's everything you want, right? It's the family, it's the American flag, it's all the wholesomeness there that's a part of conservation. So they do a great job, and Winchester's been a part of it. So
and I think when we put videos together for that event, you get up on stage and you speak to the hundreds that show up that day, and it's a big deal. It's run right. It's in one of the theaters up there. It's lit. People are having breakfast, but it really is an emotional moment when you see some of those World War II vets walk up, and it's obviously over the years it's become fewer and fewer and fewer, and but it is emotional to see that and to see everybody that's fought for our country.
To your point, you start to meet some of the families year over year, and just kind of how, again, it's emotional for them. It's emotional. The whole thing is again pretty emotional. So
it's a great event.
But we'll do it. We'll share a little bit of wisdom from Winchester and let everybody kind of enjoy the rest of the day. So
So what's entail for the rest of the day, the week?
We'll probably wander the floor here, kind of check some things out, meet some people, or meet up with some
partners
people. Check it out. But it looks like the traffic's really good, and again, we've got a lot of Winchester employees here who they do a great job too, just talking to everybody and answering questions, and that's another good really. It's really important for us to be on the floor and really have connection with who's coming in and what questions do they have.
And it's great.
They ask about turkey loads, but to be honest with you, they ask about almost anything that's ammo related. It could be a deer load, it could be a waterfowl load. So bringing the right people to this show is important, so they can hear and answer questions.
Yeah, and the feedback, I think next year is going to be exciting to hear all the stories on how Longbeard TSS has changed what their performance or their success or whatever this spring. That'll be exciting to be part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
Glad we're here.
Yep. Let's shut her down.
Shut it down.
From the NWTF show 2025. Over and out.
Over and out.
Winchester Life Podcast. Here we go.
More to come.
The Winchester Life Podcast is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, Winchester Repeating Arms, Winchester Safes, White Flyer Targets, Folds of Honor, Birchwood Casey, Walkers, Winchester Pet, and Winchester Optics. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this week's show. Please make sure you click the follow button on your podcast apps so you never miss a new episode. This episode was produced by Aaron Cox and Jason Gilbertson, engineered by Jason Freer, directed by Chad Andrus, written and edited by Jason Brown, with behind-the-scenes photography by Kelsey Myers. I'm Jason Brown, and you've been listening to the Winchester Life Podcast. See you next time.